not what? Read it, right? There should not be a way of hacking the message and reading the message. So that should not happen. So for that, there are many ways of encoding the message. So in our syllabus, Hill cipher, it's an old way of what? Encoding the messages. But nowadays, lots of things are there. If you want as an application, we can see that after completing this, right? So just a story, you might be knowing about this. Everybody knows about this Alice and Bob. It's not a story. It's a way of what? Demonstrating something as if they are imagining there are two persons, right? Alice and Bob, right? Alice is a person who wants to send some private message to Bob, right? So the only easy way what you can do is usually just think about some 30 years back, something like that. We are post, she is sending some message, but she finds out that the postman is reading the message whatever she sends, right? So she decides that she should find some way so that the postman should not read it. So there comes the symmetric key encryption. All these stories are a way of describing two things. That is symmetric key encryption, that is public key encryption, right? So what does Alice do? She puts a message in a lockbox. Lockbox, you know, right? And sends the mail to Bob. So for that, what she should do? She buys a lockbox, and she also bought two identical keys to lock that, right? So how to send the key? She can lock it. One key she can keep with her. The other key should reach Bob, right? So what she does is they have to meet in a nearby place so that once if she just gives the key to Bob, she can lock. She can put a message inside the lock box, lock with the key whatever she is having, and send it to what? Bob. That is the way she is thinking. So the same way, whatever she is thinking, she sends a message, right? One way, at least the message is going. Even the postman who is in the middle, he cannot read the message. Okay. But sometimes what happens is, see, this is one way of sending the message. She can buy a lockbox, two identical keys, one key she can keep with her, the other key she is meeting Bob and handing over it to him. But there is a probability that she did not meet Bob. So in that case, what to do? So there comes public key encryption, right? So she thinks in such a way that she need not meet Bob. Okay. So you know what is the difference between a padlock and what is the other thing? Lockbox. What is a padlock actually? Padlock is something where you can just press it and close it. Key is not necessary. Can you understand what is a padlock? You can buy a padlock, right? Can you understand what I am saying? You can just press it and close it. That's a padlock, right? So first Bob buys a padlock and a corresponding key for that, right? She mails the unlocked padlock, only the padlock she is mailing. So that what Bob will do, what can he do? He can send a message, put a message inside the lockbox, whatever he is having, and he can close the lockbox with the padlock, whatever he is having, and send it. But the key is with Alice, right? She can open it and read it. So every time she will do like that. She will open it, send the padlock. But what is the thing you observe? The message is sent only in one direction. Only from Bob he can receive message, but he is not able to, she is not able to send the message, right? Okay, so for that Alice, what she does is, she buys a simple lock box, right? That closes with the padlock again and puts her message in it, right? Then she locks it and mails it to Bob again. Can you understand what I am saying? She buys a lock box that closes with the padlock and puts her message. That's what I told this already, right? I told this already. Okay, one way it is going. This is over. Okay. So, what is the problem here? The message goes only in one direction. So the problem is solved. She need not meet Bob as in the first case. But only thing is the message comes from one direction. She receives message from the Bob, but she is not able to send a message, right? So for that, some more things should change, right? So that's what they are saying. This only works to send messages in one direction, but Alice could buy a blue padlock instead. Another padlock. Padlock means what again? Which will, if you press it, it will close it, right? And key, and mail the padlock to Bob so that he can reply, right? Or instead of sending a message in the padlock circuit box, Alice could send Bob one of, he can even buy and send a padlock to thing. That way, anyway, you can communicate with each other. This is called public key encryption. For one person, the key will be with the other person. The other person, the key will be with the other person. Suppose if I am sending a message, what the key for opening that message will be with the receiver. If the receiver is sending a message, the key for opening it will be with me. That way, two-way communication is possible, right? You can just read it. Whatever we have said, that is given over here, right? So this is the way cryptography is there. That is what we are going to do. We are going to send messages, right? Okay. So the study of encoding and decoding. What is encoding? Have you studied discrete mathematics? There also you learned one way of encoding the messages. Hello? Have you all people studied discrete mathematics?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
No, okay.
No, ma'am.
Okay, so there is one more way of encoding the messages. What you can do is, you can convert every message into binary digits, either zeros and ones, right? And you can add some more zeros and ones at the end. So that will what? Encode the message actually. You are encoding the message. Some safety measure you are creating. That you can send, and later whatever the receiver he receives, he can, that is a way of what? Identifying the mistake and also identifying the original message also. That is one way of doing it. That is converting everything into binary digits and doing it. But here, this is called cipher. What they do here is, these are all earlier days communication here. Not nowadays, they are not using all these things. Nowadays, many what advanced things are there. Even I'll say that at the end, because mathematics has something to what play with it. There is something called what permutation polynomials. It's actually my research area. I'll say you later, maybe at the end of this, right? See, in the earlier days, what they do is actually whatever things you have, whichever things you want to send, they are called ciphers. They are called ciphers, right? Sorry, the codes are called ciphers. Okay, uncoded messages are called plain text. All right. So, using the codes, you will encode the message now, right? After encoding, the coded messages are called cipher text. Ciphers are the things which helps us to encode the messages. And the original messages, simply we call it as plain text. After encoding, we call them as ciphertext, right? So the process of converting plain text into ciphertext is called enciphering. So three things are there, yeah. One is plain text. So we use ciphers to encode them, and after that we call them as ciphertext, right? Okay, well, so a reverse process is called, this process is called what? Ciphering. Enciphering. If you want to go back, you know the ciphertext, how to get back the original message, that reverse process is called deciphering. Okay? Sure. What are the simplest ciphers? How to encode? What are the simplest way of encoding a message? They are called substitution ciphers. Substitution ciphers, what you can do is simply, instead of A, B, C, D, E, F, you can use some other letters. These things you might have seen in competitive exams and all. Instead of A, they'll use D, but you have to find how the way it is encoded. In competitive exams, you might have seen this, right? So instead of A, you can use D, B, you can use E. How it is used, can you see? Just to check what is the way they have encoded. Something is followed here. A with D, B with E. Can you observe something here?
Ma'am, they've shifted it by three more.
Just shifted by three letters, alphabets. That's all, correct. If you want, you can even shift it by, but these are all very easy to hack here. By seeing itself, you can understand. Three letters, if you observe, you will say what is the way they are encoded, right? So these methods are used very much earlier times. Now you cannot use it. All are very intelligent and brilliant. We can easily encode, decode such messages, right? These are all the things which they used much earlier. See, Rome was not built in a day. So that will be changed in this way. Okay. So the previously whatever we have seen, they are called as substitution ciphers. Now whatever you are seeing is called Hill cipher. In Hill cipher, what you do is every alphabet is being replaced by a number. So A to Z, how many alphabets are there? I think everybody knows this. How many alphabets are there? 26, right? 26. So what we are going to do is from A to Z, I'll start with 1. A will be replaced by 1, B with 2, C with 3. Similarly, when it comes to Z, it should be 26. But instead of using 26, I'll use 0. That's called modulo 26. Modulo 26. Suppose 35 modulo 26 means 35 should be divided by 26 and you have to get the remainder. What is the remainder? 35, 9. So,
sorry, 9.
9. So, Z actually it should have 26, right? What is 26 modulo 26?
0.
0, that's what. So, you can have values only from 1 to 25. When it comes to 26, it becomes 0. When it becomes 27, then it will become 1. 28, 2, like that. This is the technique we are going to use, right? This is called Hill cipher. That is, you are going to replace each and every alphabet by what? A number. Right? So, say in the simplest Hill ciphers, what you do is, you take a plain text. See, for example, I love India. I think, hope everybody love India, right? I love India. You should, right? I love India. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll just divide this into two letters each. Right? So IL together, OV together, EI together, ND together, IA together. If some letter is left over as single, suppose in the last if you have only one A now, what you can do? You can add one more A along with that, just to fill it. Filling purpose, you can add the same letter, right? You divide like this. I'll tell you what you have to do. Choose a 2 by 2 matrix with integer entries like this, right? This matrix is going to help us in encoding the message, whatever message you have, right? If you are dividing the message into three letters each, that is called Hill 3 cipher. Here you are using Hill 2 cipher. So in that case, the matrix will be a 3 by 3 matrix, right? Okay. So, okay, now instead of looking into this, better I'll take a problem and explain. Then we can go back to the procedure, right? So, use this matrix, right? Very important. Whatever matrix you are using, that matrix should be a non-singular matrix. You are using something to encode a message. So, you should be able to decode the message also, right? So, for that purpose, whatever thing you are using, it should be invertible. So here you are using a matrix to encode the message. So the matrix should be an invertible matrix. It should be a non-singular matrix. So hope you can see this is a non-singular matrix. What is the determinant of this matrix? What is the determinant of this matrix? Yeah?
3.
3. Right. So use the matrix to obtain the Hill cipher for the plain text. I am hiding. Okay. I'm going to use the method Hill cipher and I'm going to encode this message. I am hiding. So what is the procedure? Since a matrix is a 2 by 2 matrix, I have to divide this message into 2 each. Split it into 2. I, A together, M, H together, I, D together, I, N together. So G is left out single, right? Single G is there. So what I said, whenever it is left as a single, add the same letter again. So to make it a pair, right? Check. Now, how many pairs are there? 5 pairs are there. Okay. So what you have to do is, first you have to write the numbers corresponding to this, right? What is I? Go back. What is I here? See, I is 9. A is 1. I'm using all those things. What is M? M is 13. I hope you understand. So against each letter, write the number corresponding. Right? After writing, I am going to encode every pair now. Pair wise you have to encode. So first I'll consider 9 and 1. So I take this matrix 1, 2, 0, 3 and multiply that by 9, 1 in the column wise. 2 by 2 matrix. This is a 2 by 2 matrix and this is a 2 by 1 matrix. So if you multiply again, you will get a 2 by 1 matrix. 11 and 3 you get. Clear? Hello? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
similarly, go to this pair. Again multiply that, you get 29, 24. But here you have to be very careful. No number should exceed 25. Because if we are in the modulo 26, modulo 26, no number should exceed 25. Once it comes to 26, it will become 0. So can you say what should be 29?
4,
No,
4,
29.
no,
3.
3, sorry.
3, ma'am.
Okay, 24 you can keep, no problem. 24 you can keep, it's not an issue, right? Now this becomes 3 and 24, okay. Now can you say what will happen to 9 and 4? I'm pairwise, I'm encoding. 9, 4, if you do what happens, tell me. 9 plus 8, 17,
17.
12.
And
17, 12, there is no problem, right? Is there a problem? Or no, because it is well within the limits 26. Check. Okay, next 9, 4 is over, 9, 14. Okay, tell me. Tell me, yeah. Multiply 1 into 9, 9. 9 plus 28, 37. 37 modulo 26 is
11, ma'am.
11. Check. Okay. Then 3 into 14, 42. 42 modulo 26 is
16.
16. Very good. So 11 and 16. So if you want, I'll write like this. IA, MH, ID, IN, GG. So the corresponding numbers are 9, 1, 13, 8, 9, 4, 9, 14, 7, 7. Okay. So what numbers? Now you have changed all these numbers, right? What are those numbers? 9, 1 is changed as 11, 3. And 13, 8 is changed as 3, 24. Okay. And 9, 4 is changed as just now we did, right? 17, 12. Okay. For easy understanding, I'm writing. 9, 14 is changed as 11. 11 and 16. Okay, what happens when you multiply by 7, 7? 7, 7. Do it.
Ma'am, 21, 21.
21, 21. Seripa. 21, 21, not an issue, right? Okay, write all these things. And tell me what are the corresponding alphabets now. What is 11? We have to use the alphabets ordering there. 11 is what? K. 3 is C, yeah. Again C. 24 is what?
X, ma'am.
X. 17 is what? Like that you have tried. 17 is Q. 12 is 12 and 11 I need. L and K. L and K. What is 16? 16 is P, U then. U. This is the encoded message. K, C, C, X, Q, L, K. All these things. This is the encoded message. If you want your
Why we add
message.
two?
Enapa? Yes, tell me.
Why did we add 2 in the final?
What I added?
Final and last step, could you re-explain?
Which step? Which step?
The
U.
11, 3.
This U, this U. What is 21? G, if I am multiplying, we are getting 21, right? 21 is U. Okay, va?
Ma'am, I got till when we were doing the matrix multiplication. So after that, what we have to do?
Okay, I'll do one thing. I'll take again one more thing and we'll do it. Please wait 1 minute. Use the matrix. I'll use different matrix, right? Use the matrix A is equal to 2, 7, 0, 3. Is this an invertible matrix? Taking an upper triangular matrix is easy.
Yes, ma'am.
Right?
Yes,
It's an
ma'am.
invertible. Use this matrix to obtain the Hill cipher text of the message. You give the message here. Please tell your message. Some message you say.
Hello world, ma'am.
Jai Hind, shall we take?
Okay, ma'am.
Jai Hind, right? Jai Hind. Okay. That is, I am going to encode the message now. You have to split this into 2 each, right? Since 2 by 2 matrix. So D is left alone here. So what you have to do?
Add one more.
Add one more D. Okay. So you write A, B, C, D and say what are all the corresponding numbers now. You write this, I'll show you that. Please. Jai Hind, you write it in a paper. I'll show you that. Fill it and then say. Certain things we can fill A1, 4, 4.
Ma'am, 10, 1,
J
9,
is 10.
8, 9.
10, 1.
10, 1. J is 10. Sorry, okay.
I is 9, ma'am. And H is 8.
I is 9. H is
8, ma'am.
8. Again 9.
I think
N?
that's 14.
N is?
14, ma'am.
14. Check. Okay. So what is the procedure? Encoding. Now we are going to encode it, right? So what I am going to do? Consider 10, 1, right? So 2703 into 0, 10, 1. Multiply this. You know matrix.
3, ma'am.
20 plus 7, 27. But 27 should not be there. What you have to do?
1, ma'am.
1. Okay. Okay, then next message will encode 9, 8. 9, 8. 18?
74 and 24. Ma'am.
74 na? How much, yeah? 22, I think. 22, 26 2s are 52. 26
Yes,
3s are
22.
17. So it should be 22. Clear? Sure. Okay. Then 9 14. Hmm. 18 plus 7 into 14.
116, ma'am.
116. Cheripa. 3 into 14, 42. What
Yes,
is
ma'am.
116? 26 into 4, how much? Yeah, 104. Correct? 104. So remainder 12.
12.
42 na 16. Are you getting this what I am doing? Whenever a number exceeds 26, just divide by 26 and get the remainder. Ensure that the encoded thing should be a number which should be less than 26, right? Sure. Next, 914 kapra, what is that? 4 4.
36 and 12.
36 and 12.
36 and 12. 36 is 10.
Ma'am, 10 and 12.
12. Okay, wow. So what are the original message? Sorry, yeah. So what? Jai Hind.
Jai Hind.
Jai, sorry. What is JA? 10198. Okay.
10198.
10198.
914 44.
914 44. So original encoder, right? What 44 is encoded as 1012. IN is encoded as 1216. Then 13 22 24. Okay. Now can you say the corresponding alphabets? One is A.
A, C, Y, Z.
Y, Z.
No, no, ma'am.
V.
Ma'am,
VX.
V and X.
1 minute, I'll show you. See and say. You write all these numbers. I'll show you. Just see that and say. No problem.
Ma'am, VX, LP, JK.
1 minute. What you need? 22 24.
VX.
22 24. V and X. Okay. V and X. 12 and 16. 12 and 16. L and P.
LP.
10 and 12. 12 is P. 12
J
L.
and ma'am.
J, yeah. Okay, J.
Yes.
So the encoded messages ACVXLPJN. JN. Okay? Understood?
Ma'am,
Yes,
so
ma'am.
we
Thank you.
ignore the spaces then?
N without space also you can write. That's not an issue. Because the receiver, once he receives the message, he knows what is A. Right? So he will decode it by using the inverse of the matrix. He'll find the inverse of the matrix. That is the key with him. Lock is the matrix A. Key is the inverse of the matrix. Using that, he splits this into 2, 2, 2. What? Decode it. So you'll get some, first what he does is he writes the corresponding numbers, then he uses the matrix to multiply, gets different numbers, and again writes the corresponding alphabets. So you'll get back the original message. Even though Jai Hind looks like this, J-I-H-I-N-D-D, he'll be able to identify what is the message. He'll remove that last D, repeated one. Okay, va?
Yes,
Hello?
ma'am.
Okay. What is the time now?
8:36, ma'am.
Okay, time is there. So I'll say what is modular arithmetic. If m is a positive integer and a and b are integers, then we say that a is equivalent to b modulo m whenever a minus b is a integer multiple of a. Say, for example, this is very, it's not a very tough concept, very easy concept. Sometimes we write like this, a is congruent to b modulo m. That means a minus b is divisible by m. Right? See, 7 is congruent to 2 modulo 5. So 7 minus 2 is always divisible by 5. 19 is congruent to 3 modulo 2. That means 19 minus 3, that is 16 is always divisible by 2. These are all the examples. Very important. Minus 1 is congruent to 25 modulo 26. Bring this here, yeah. Minus 1 minus 25. What is minus 1 minus 25? Minus 26. Minus 26 is divisible by 26. 12 is congruent to 0 modulo 4 because 12 is always already divisible by 4. Clear? All these points clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
In modulo cases, under modulo 26, minus 1 is nothing but 25. If I say minus 1 under modulo 26, it is minus 1 denotes actually 25. Right? What does minus 7 denote? Subtract 26 from 7.
19.
9.
19.
Oh, 19. 19, pa? 19.
19.
So, all these things are number theory concepts, number theoretical concepts. Modulo concepts are all number theoretical concepts. So, number theoretical concept always deals with what? Positive integer values, not positive, integer values. We never use real values here. We never say 1.0001, all those things we never use here. No approximation here. Only perfect value, accurate values here. That is the difference between discrete mathematics and calculus. Calculus always approximation, right? Because we use what? Real values there. But in discrete mathematics, there is no real numbers, only integers. So there is no approximation. Always you say only 2 not 2, I cannot say 2.0. It may be it is around 2, that is 1.999. All those things are not what? Okay here. You have to speak only the accurate values. That is number theory. Right? So what is the time now? 8:40, yeah?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Shall I proceed?
Yes, ma'am.
Say something here. Okay. I'll say residue modulo and then we'll see. Find the residue modulo 26 of 87. That means what? 87 you divide by 26 and get the remainder. What is the remainder? Oh, 87 if you divide by 26, 26 into 3, 78. Remainder is 9. So 87 is congruent to 9 modulo 26. That means 87 if you subtract 9, it is always divisible by 26. Clear? Hello?
Yes.
Cherry. Okay. Minus 38. Minus 38. Okay. What is minus 38? I'll give you one idea. Minus 38, if you divide by 26, minus 12. What is minus 12 in modulo 26?
14, ma'am.
That's what. So minus 38 is, okay, when you divide by 26, it's leaving remainder 14. So minus 38 is, minus 38 minus 14 is congruent to 0 mod 26, or minus 38 minus 14 is divisible by 26. Right? Saripa, okay, I'll stop here. So tomorrow I'll cover what? How to find inverse. Don't worry, after completing the syllabus, we are going to only